Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Shirley's Wind Down Tuesday. I am Shirley with Shirley's Threadwork. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I want to give a shout out to those of you that will be watching from YouTube as well as Facebook. I do appreciate it and thank you so much. And of course, as always, I want to thank everybody for watching the replay when you do, because I know you will. So many of you will watch the replay, and I do appreciate it so much. I would appreciate it even more if you come on into the chat. Come on into the chat and talk and join all of the conversation and add your 2 cents to everything that we talk about. I think that you would learn a lot, you would enjoy it, and you always have something to contribute. So that would be so great. Excuse me, if you would choose to do that. But anyway, regardless of whether you join in the chat or just watch it from afar, I do appreciate everything that you do. The support is very, very much support appreciated and needed. So thank you so much. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Becky. And hi, Robin. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it so much. And how's your day been going? My day has been fine. I haven't um, didn't leave the house. That's one thing. I didn't leave the house. Today is my off day. Yesterday was my off day as well, but I did work. So I didn't. I missed a few days last week, so I had to go in and make some time up. At least I chose to do so. Anyway, so I did have a good restful day today, which I'm so glad, and I was able to get a little work done and get some projects out that I needed, some few orders that were sitting around that I needed to take care of, and I got those done as well. So been pretty productive and glad to do that. It's always good to catch up and not have things sitting around waiting for you to do anything. Hi, Pearl. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate that as well. Well, I always like to wait a few minutes before I get started with the presentation because I want to give people enough time to come in because I know that they will be coming in little by little, bit by bit, minute by minute. So I'm going to wait a few more minutes before we get started. But put your thinking caps on while we are waiting because if you saw the topic for tonight, which was a suggestion, and I wanted to make sure that I followed through on that, and that is where is the fabric? And if any of you all saw my thumbnail, I came out with a little saying that's old back in the I guess about the 80s or 90s. I can't remember. But anyway, if you remember, where's the beef? Where's the beef? Well, I'm saying, where's the fabric? Where's the fabric? Now that Joann is officially closed, and people keep talking about going to Hobby Lobby and going to Michael's, and with my research, Michael still has not provided us with enough things to support the crafting. But enough of that. I'm not going to talk about that until a few minutes later. But Robin, you said that was in the 80s. Okay. I can't remember because child time flies. I knew it was 80s or 90s. Back in the day, I was trying to think in my head where exactly was I living because oftentimes, well, most of the time, I can relate an event or something to where I happen to have been living at the time and what I was doing. It's interesting how I can pull those two things together. But I wasn't quite sure about that. I do remember it. So, Robin, if you say it was in the 80s, then we're going to go with that. And we're aging ourselves, but I do remember that was a very, very popular commercial at the time. And the little old lady that used to say it, I understand, made a whole lot of money off of that, which was um, which was good. I think it was a hamburger fast food. Not quite sure. I think it was Burger King, but I might be wrong. But anyway, I do remember it being related to a hamburger fast food commercial. And again, it was very popular. Hi, Bea. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I hope all is well. We miss you, girl. We miss you on Wednesday night. Oh, Robin, you said it was Wendy's? Okay. Well, y'all see, I was all wrong. I knew it had to do with a hamburger, but why didn't Wendy's even pop up in my head? Okay, well, anyway, that was that. So, like I said, put your thinking caps on, come up with some places that you have been successful in buying fabric in person. That's the topic for tonight. I know we talked about what alternatives we have for getting fabric and pretty much talked about online. But if any of you all are like me, I personally prefer to touch, to see, to feel. And that seems to be where the deficit is in our dilemma at this particular moment. So I did some research and looking up stuff and I took Jeanette's advice, and if any of you saw her live on this past Friday, she talked about AI and specifically Chat GPT. I think it is Chat GPT, and I thought it was an excellent presentation. And I got a lot of good information from it. And actually, I'm going to be not only am I going to be using it, I did use it for tonight as well. So if any of you all have not seen her Friday night presentation, look at the replay. If you're interested in it, you might want to check it out. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a little bit as well, because like I said, I did look into it and I have used it and I will be using it going forward. And you know, what's interesting, Jenny, you said you just watched the commercial. You pulled it up, huh? You went way back and pulled it up. Where is the beef? Child, I remember that so well. I didn't even think about pulling it up and looking at it, but anyway, that's kind of funny. And Becky, you said you did as well. Okay. Pearl. Pearl, you said you went to your sewing machine shop and one of the quilt shops over the weekend. Yay, that was good. That was good. Yeah, you tell us about it a little bit. Hey, Shirley, Pearl, Robin, and crew. I hope to be back in about 2 weeks. That sounds wonderful. That I would be looking forward to that. And Robin, you say you got some nice fabric from Michaels and their remnant being good. That's good to know. That is really good to know. So yeah, you guys keep it coming because I want to know who's getting what from where. Um, because I personally have not physically gone to any place other than Hobby Lobby since my move. I did go by Michael's, the closest one to me. Nothing was in there fabric wise, which was pretty disappointing. And I do understand that they're slowly um, stocking their stores with fabric, and I don't know how much they're going to do and what the variety of it will be or what the inventory is going to be like. And when I was doing my research, I have to tell you, I was getting a little frustrated, so I had to put some specifics in there and tell them, don't tell me nothing about Michael, don't tell me nothing about Hobby Lobby, because those are the first two places that pop up. Go to Hobby Lobby, go to Mike. Go to Hobby Lobby, go to Mike. And we already know that. We're aware that you can get fabric from Hobby Lobby. We are aware that Michael is now beginning to sell some fabrics. And if you go online, you can order fabrics from a variety of vendors through Michael. But as far as the Michaels stores are concerned, the brick and mortar, the physical store where you walk into, is still slowly building up, but it's not a place that is reliable enough for you to say, yes, I can go into Michaels and start buying my fabric. And Pearl, you say that I bought some fabric because the Michaels in my city wasn't worth my going to at the time. The service was lousy. I get you. I get you. I get you. Hi, Marissa. How are you? I am so glad you stopped in. I have to tell you, I was hoping you stopped in tonight because I I tried to reach you last week for our Wednesday Zoom. I got your message, but when I tried to text you back or email you back, it would not go through. So I don't know what happened, and I'm assuming you did not get my information because I tried 2 or 3 times and it just did not go through. So what I need you to do, if you're still interested in the Wednesday Zoom, you have my email address. Email me or text me, email me, because I got my phone right here. I can check it. And if I get it, then I will email you back immediately while you're still online. So I'll make sure that I have the correct address because I had no other way of reaching out to you. So I was just waiting for you to pop in tonight. Hopefully, I was hoping that you would, and you did. So thank you. So please get back with me tonight before you get off here so we can connect because I don't want you to think that I didn't reach out to you because I did try and it just would not, it kept coming back to me undelivered. So I don't know what the issue was. Um, So Becky, you said you did get some fabric at an estate sale from a local quilter at a yard sale. So now you have more fabric than you need or have room for. Yes, I remember you telling us that, and you got lucky, which is part of what the AI had mentioned that people should be looking into. So we will discuss that a little bit too. But see, as you can see, that's also a good source of places to go. So, okay, it's already 15 minutes into the hour, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with what I have found. And of course, I did ask about, places that you can go walk into and actually get fabric, feel it, touch it, see it, all of that. And the first thing that popped up was Hobby Lobby, and we all are aware of that. And we know what Hobby Lobby sells. And we're also aware of the fact that their supply isn't as broad as Joann was, but they do have home decor fabrics, flannel, fleece, apparel fabrics, quilting, cotton, all of those things. But one thing to point out that I just found out, I believe last week, they are not doing the 40% off area of the week anymore. They dropped it down to 30% off, and that's a bummer. So, from what I understand, and I haven't been in there since it happened, so if anybody can confirm this, please do. But what I understand is that they are not doing the 40% off of their fabric like they used to do. They used to alternate every other week. One week it would be the ribbon and notions and things, and the next week it would be fabric, and it would always be 40% off. But now it is coming up that is only 30% off. So that's a little disheartening for me, and I don't understand. The only thing I can think of is supply and demand, and they figure since they're moving up in the chain of where people have to shop at, that they don't have to do so much of a deep discount anymore to get the business. That's what I'm thinking that happened. That they're just trying to say, okay, now we got a little leverage here, so I'm not going to give you that big of a sale anymore. That's the only thing I can think of. So if anybody can address that, please do. Um, Also, the AI mentioned Walmart, which we all are pretty much aware of the fact that Walmart has fabric. And it just depends upon the size of your Walmart, whether or not they actually have a cutting station or not. The Walmart that's closest to me does not, but they do have a pretty, I don't want to say a decent variety. It's nowhere near as big as the one I went to when I was in Maryland, where they had a whole 2 rows of fabric where they could actually cut. Now the one near me only has fat quarters, and then they have the cut fabric that's already bundled up, and it comes in a 1 yard, 2 yard, or 4 yard package that you can purchase. They have a lot of different colors and everything, and they have a lot of different prints. But they do not have any that you can actually select and have them cut it to the size that you want or the yardage that you want. So that's kind of disappointing to me here because it limits what I can get. And but at least they do have some. And as far as the quality, if it's Waverly, which most of it is, that's usually a pretty decent fabric for quilting or some type of crafting project. I don't know if you necessarily would want to do any garment making with excuse me with that fabric. But So it says some stores still carry the fabric by yard, especially in the rural areas, and it's great for basic inexpensive cottons and emergency supplies because they do have a nice supply of notions, just like Hobby Lobby have some notions, but neither one of those two places carry the notions, and especially Michael in the degree that Joanne did. They are very limited in their selection and quality, but they are budget friendly. So that's just something to keep in mind. Uh, and I did mention Michael and the fact that if they do have fabric, often it is the pre-cut fabric, and they have much smaller collection, and but they have more yardage fabric available online, and it is provided by outside vendors. So it's still not giving you that opportunity to touch and feel and see and all of that. Now that's what the typical basic first line. So then it goes on to say that we should start looking at our local quilt shops and independent fabric stores, which I had mentioned before. And the thing is to know where they are, to go on to Google and onto the websites and find what's available in your area and see if it's worth your while. Call them up before you head out to confirm that they do carry the type of fabric that you're looking for. Get the directions, see if it's going to be worth your while for the drive and all of that. But it says that quilt shops are hidden gems. They offer high quality cottons and often have unique curated selections, and they do. Staff is usually knowledgeable and love to help because this is something that most of the staff people in the quilt shop are quilters or sewers of some kind. So they know a lot about crafting, sewing, embroidery, quilting, all of that, especially quilting. So they can answer a lot of questions, help you with your yardage and all of that. Because I know I've gone to a quilt shop and told them what I was trying to do, and they would tell me exactly what I need and how much I need. So that's an excellent alternative. And of course, there's a touch feel, put your hands on it and all of that. See it, compare it to the colors that you're looking for. And that's what I'm looking for. Now, you have to be aware of the fact that it is more expensive, but you do get better quality and better customer service. So if you are willing to pay a little bit more money for better quality fabrics, then your quilting shop is probably the way that we're going to end up having to go. Also, sewing machine dealers often sell fabrics as well. The one quilting shop that our sewing machine um, dealer actually is what it was. It was a quilt shop slash sewing machine dealer, and they had a large variety of fabric, but mostly for quilting. Most of their fabrics were printed, which most quilted shops are. And I don't think they had anything in there at that particular time less than $12.95 a yard. So you're gonna be spending a lot more money for your yardage. Just keep that in mind. They do tend to stock beautiful fabric, and they do have stabilizer and some embroidery supplies. They have thread and needles and other notions. But also, I want to caution you, especially when it comes down to thread. I'm a Floriani thread person. I love Floriani. I do have some other brands, but I'm converting over to Floriani. Basically, what I'm saying, if I buy new thread, 90% of the time that thread is going to be a Floriani thread because I just love their color and their quality. Now, their thread is way more expensive than if I go to All Brand or All Stitch or even R&K, which is a Floriani retailer. I can get, well, last time I bought it, I don't know what it is now with the tariffs and stuff, but the last time I bought thread, Floriani thread, and I think I got it from All Brand, I was able to get it for $4.95 a spool, the 1,000 millimeter spool for $4.95. At the quilt shop that I am referring to back when I was in Maryland, their Floriani thread was $8.95 a spool. So, I only bought thread out of there in an emergency situation. If I needed that color for a project and I didn't have time to wait for it to come via delivery from All Brand, All Stitch, then I paid that $8.95 for that one spool thread. But that was few and far between because that's almost double, and I thought that that was not good. But that's the way it is. So just be prepared to pay more money if you do decide to shop in these shops because it's going to be expensive. I went into a quilt shop. Now this is just a plain, well, they also had machines in there as well. So they sold machines, but I think they were more of a quilt shop because they had lots of fabric, tons of fabric and patterns and all kinds of stuff to dealing with quilting, back quarters, layer cakes, charm packs, uh, jelly rolls, all of that, all of that. And I saw a beautiful stack of back quarters. And I picked it up because I bought bundles of back quarters before, even in that shop that I mentioned just a minute ago. And you could get 5 or 6 of them, and it wouldn't be that, what, maybe $20 or more. I picked this bundle up and it didn't say $89. I couldn't get it down out my hand fast enough. I don't remember how many fat quarters were in there. It was a pretty decent size of fat quarters. But it was a sticker shock for me because I had no idea, none, that the fabric was going to be that expensive. I've never paid that much money for fabric, so that tells you I wasn't prepared. But anyway, I looked around and I realized that that was not a place that I could routinely shop because for me, not being a quilter, not knowing how to quilt, I would not want to spend that much money on fabric to mess up. Now, if I was a quilter and a good quilter, and I knew I could cut the straight lines and all of that kind of stuff, then yes, I would make that investment because the fabric was absolutely gorgeous and it was really good fabric and it would be worthwhile to me, but not for something when you're trying to learn how to do it. So, needless to say, I didn't do it, but it is an option. It is definitely an option. So don't dismiss your quilt shops at all if you have anything around you. Um, The other thing that they mention is ask about loyalty programs and classes. That's with any of the stores that you may go to because that's a perk that these places, these quilt shops and machine dealerships and stuff offer you. If you are a regular customer, they will uh, um, let you sign up for their reward program, their discount program, their classes and stuff. Because I know the quilt shop that I went to, or the dealership that I went to, if you bought a machine from them, then you automatically got 20% off of every purchase that you ever bought from them ever. If you were if you went to their classes, then you got a 20% discount the day of the class. If you was a regular customer, I don't remember what the discount was, but you did get a discount because they would always ask you if was in their system and everything. And if they found you in the system and stuff, then you were eligible for some type of discount. So that can help you with the cost. So keep in mind, always ask if they have some type of loyalty program or what have you. The other thing is to do a Google search, which is what I did, and just put in a fabric store near me, or quilt shop, or sewing machine dealer fabric, whatever it is that you're looking for. Just Google it, because Google is your friend. My son tells me that all the time. And if you want to know an answer to a question, Google it. Or now you can get Copilot or Chat GBT, the AI. They will answer your questions. So use that outside help. But do your search and see what's around you. Then once you find that, call them up or go on their website, check it out, and see if it's someplace that you want to go to, if it's close enough, do they have what you're looking for, and all of that. So that'll give you an opportunity to explore and see if this is going to be a place that you're going to be able to utilize um, as you go. And let me see what the people are saying. Pearl, you were saying the larger Walmarts have large departments and a cutting table. Yeah, they pretty much do. And hi, Andrea. How are you? How are you doing? And Betty, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. And the best uni. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a minute on here, but I've seen your video. So hi, thank you for coming back and stopping by. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Jenny, you said what, 2 weeks ago, you decided to go to the quilt shop here in San Antonio, where you are. The website says open till 4. I get there at 3:15 p.m. and it was already closed. Isn't that something? That's not cool. You had 45 whole minutes and they were already closed. They must have had a slow day and decided to close up because nobody was going to be there. And see, that was if it was me, it would be a bad taste in my mouth. And I don't know how, would I go back or not. And so you said you're going to go, try to go in the morning. So hopefully it will be open and you'll be able to see what it's going to be like. So sorry that happened to you. And Jenny is going to be on a Saturday. They close too early and I won't make it after work. Yeah, got that. And Val, you said unfortunately that I have a good number of quilt shops. You have a good number of quilt shops near you. In addition, there are some sewing shops with fabric. Of course, they are at a price. There are a few fabric outlets. So that's good. Now, Val, if you don't mind, I tell people you're I'm correct, in the Philadelphia area. So anybody that's in that area or near that area that's interested, Val says that it's a lot of quilt shops and sewing shops and what have you in that area that gives you an opportunity to actually go in and look at fabric and touch it and everything. So I am so glad to hear that. Everybody's not lucky enough to do that, but those that are, that's good. Now, the AI also mentions some regional chains and hidden sources that we may be missing. Now, they're not anything that's local for me, but I'm sure somebody in the audience may be able to relate. And I've heard of this before, but this would be online for most people, I would assume, and that's Hancock's of Paducah, and that's in Kentucky. And but they say they may have local pop-ups or outlets. So you can look into that. It is Hancock's of Paducah. So it's not the regular Hancock that went out of business. But Hancock's of Paducah has fabric, but again, that gives you online unless you're in that area. Fields Fabric in Michigan, Mill in Store in Oregon, and Zinks, Zinck, Fabric Outlet in Ohio and Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Also mentioned other options such as Amish Mennonite fabric stores, thrift stores, or estate sales like Becky mentioned, and craft fairs or sewing expos like the one that's coming up in Fredericksburg, Virginia in September. They're already putting out the classes and enrollment information now for anybody in that area that's interested in it. You can sign up to for classes because open enrollment is there. And the people that I've been talking to, sorry, I hit my computer table. The people that I've been talking to are planning on going with the hopes that because Joann is closed, that the vendors there will have, trying to get my thing back right. I hate when that happens. But anyway, the vendors there may have fabric, more fabric now that I don't know if I can get this right. Okay, I tell you, I'm trying to grow. I grew, didn't I? Anyway, so your expos and what have you, Impression Expo. Now, I've not been to the Impression Expo, but I know, Val, you have. Did they have a lot of fabric there? I know they had so many things there. But I don't recall anybody talking about fabric. They've talked about the machines there and the blanks and stuff, the hoodies and the shirts and all of the caps and all that kind of stuff and all the embroidery machines and the heat presses and so forth and so on. But I've not heard anybody say one word about any, excuse me, anybody selling fabric at these expos. And I do know that the original Sewing and Craft Expo that's in Fredericksburg that I just mentioned, they did have, because it's a quilt expo, they had a lot of vendors that were selling a lot of fat quarters and layer cakes and charm packs and stuff. I didn't see a lot of people that were selling boats. There were a few that were selling yardage on boats, but not a lot. So I don't know if they'll get better this year or not. Unfortunately, I won't be going because I don't live in the area anymore. So I won't be going. Now, um, the AI did bring up some more things, but they were tips for finding fabric post Joann. And they mentioned several places that are online, which we are quite aware that you can do a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of places that are online. I'm going to go ahead and mention them because that may be the only alternative that a lot of us have. We may not be able to find anything that we can actually go in and see and touch. I'm not drinking my wine tonight. I have a wine cooler in my little in my tumbler here, so that's why I don't have my wine glass. But I'm still having my libation, and I don't know what's going on with my throat, but for some reason it's feeling a little scratchy. And Val, you said that they have, this is at the Impression Expo, they have equipment and machines and blanks. That's what I noticed at all of the reviews that I saw, the videos and stuff. I didn't see any kind of fabric stuff. So that probably would not be a fair that you would want to go to, or convention, or whatever they call it, if you're looking for fabric. But like Missouri Star was mentioned, I don't know when they have their get together, but I'm pretty certain that they will have fabric, because that's what they do. They sell it. Hi, Deborah. How you doing? How are you? And the question has already been asked, so I'll ask it again. How is your foot doing? I hope a lot better. I hope a lot better. And you said it's getting a little better each day, but you're still wearing your boots. Okay. Val, you said that AQS Cook Week is in Lancaster and is scheduled for September the 10th through the 13th. And what does AQS stand for, if you don't mind sharing? Because I don't remember. I think we talked about it before, um, but I don't remember what AQS stands for. So let me talk about the places that the AI said to check out their website. And one is fabric.com, which is now part of Amazon. And with that being said, I have bought fabric 2 or 3 times off of Amazon, and this was even before um, Joanne closed, because I was looking for fabric that Joanne did not have. I was looking specifically for certain colors, and I was looking specifically for a certain type. And I actually ended up having to go to Amazon to get what I was looking for, because Joanne did not have it. So, and I was satisfied with what I got. So I'm telling you, it is not necessarily a bad thing to have to shop online. However, it's not something that I want to be 100% dependent upon, but it is an option that we have to shop online, because, again, I have bought fabric off of Amazon and have not been disappointed. I bought fabric from, what is it, Soul Creation. I think that's the name of it. It's an African fabric company, and they are at the expo in Springfield, not Springfield, in Fredericksburg, Virginia. They go to that particular um, expo, I think, every year. They were there last year and the year before, the year that I went, and they have beautiful fabric. And I've bought fabric from them by sight at the expo, and I've also ordered fabric from them, and I have been very pleased with what I have ordered. So that's a place that you can, if you are in the Maryland, well, the DMC area, you could check that out. Check them out, because they do have a store in a class. Fashion Fabric Club, that has affordable fashion, home decor, and upholstery um, fabric, and it's fast shipping and reliable. And they are from St. Louis, Missouri, which is, I'm not gonna say down the road, because St. Louis is a couple hundred miles from me. But it's a straight shot down I-70. That's home, so I know where that is. I've traveled that I-70 corridors of many, 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 many years, back and forth from St. Louis to Kansas City to St. Louis. So did not know about Fashion Fabrics Club, but I'm gonna have to look them up. And their specialty is designer fabric and outlet pieces. Now I remember when I lived in St. Louis, they did have a big fabric store, fabric warehouse downtown. I don't remember the name of it, and I don't even know if it exists anymore, but I do know that they had that many years ago, because a good friend of mine was a sewist, and that's where she would buy her fabric. Fabric Wholesale Direct, they have competitive prices, bulk discount, and flat shipping rate, and they are known for tulle, satin, muslin, vinyl, and broadcloth. And of course, I mentioned Missouri Star, which is in Hamilton, Missouri, which is not that far from me. I may have to run up there. When I say not that far, it's going to be a good, I think they have to be 50, 60 miles away, at least, maybe more. But anyway, they have quilting cotton, jelly rolls, charm packs, and tutorials, so you can uh, follow them on YouTube. And they have quick across the USA and excellent customer service. So keep them in mind. Hawthorne, Hawthorne Supply Company. They ship quickly despite of custom printing, and they do modern prints and house design collections. Many fabrics are printed to order in-house, meaning great quality and consistent stock, which is absolutely great if you are doing some home decoration. If you are doing home decoration and you're trying to match up your upholstery to your wallpaper or to your curtains or whatever it is that you're trying to do as far as home decoration is concerned, that is an excellent place to check out because they will do uh, uh, specialty printing. They will do what did they say? Print to order in house. Don't know what that cost would be, but they can do it, and that's really good, really good. Um, Fabric Mart, Fabric Fab, Fabric Mart, MART, fabrics.com, and they have fabric that is best for apparel and lots of designer overrun and remnant, so you can get a bargain with that. Frequent flash sales and clearance specials. They have fast and customer service is top notch. Cali Fabrics, and this is coming out of California. They're known for their apparel, their cosplay, knits, denim, and unique prints. Great price on knits and stretch fabric. Spoonflower. Now I get email from Spoonflower every day. Don't know why, because I haven't bought anything from Spoonflower, but I get email from spoonflowerfabric.com, Shabby Fabrics, and who else? A couple of more every day, every day. But anyway, they have custom fabric printing for thousands of artist designs, and they have so many different stuff that pops up. They have cotton, canvas, jersey, fleece, and more. Fast for printed to order, and great if you want unique prints, because the ones that I've looked at are unique prints that I've seen. And they have a lot of cultural prints that you can get, sports prints, floral. They have a lot of theme stuff. So that's a good thing. S.R. Harris Fabric. Um, doesn't say where they're located. They have a massive warehouse style shop online with wholesale pricing. Fashion, dancewear, special occasion fabric. Flat rate shipping and bulk discounts available. Now they did say wholesale pricing, so I don't know if you have to have a wholesale license in order to purchase from them. It doesn't say. Denver Fabrics is a long-time source for home decor, fashion, and costuming fabrics, often cheaper than big box stores. Now, they said the best tip for getting the best value is to sign up for the email list because usually they're going to have coupons, flash sales, and all those kinds of things if you sign up, and especially for your first purchase. Check swatch availability for apparel or upholstery fabric. Now, that is the one thing that is very important. Check with any online store that you decide to purchase from to see if you can get a swatch piece of something, especially if you're trying to match designs and match up colors. Ask if they can send you a swatch, even if you have to spend a small amount of money to get it. That's probably going to be your best bet because you'll be able to touch, feel, see, and compare the colors and see if it's going to work for whatever that project is. So always check and see if you can get some type of sample or swatch or whatever. And if they have a sample book or something of some of their best selling products, ask about it because sometimes you never know. They if they don't have one, they might be able to put one together for you. You never know, especially if you have a special project or something coming up that you're working on, and you're wanting to be very specific about the colors and the type of fabric that you get. Um, and they and compare the shipping rate. Always try to save money, especially if you're ordering across state line, and taxes as well. Always check that, and then watch YouTube or blog reviews if they have them. That's a good way to see if that particular place that you're wanting to buy from is reputable enough for you to get involved with them. So those are the online places that they mentioned. So I decided to check because I know quite a few of you guys are in the Virginia Woodbridge area. So I asked the question about 5 brick and mortar stores in the Woodbridge, Virginia area where you can shop for fabric in person. And I told them to exclude Michael and Hobby Lobby, please, because we're aware of that. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of these, you guys that are in Virginia, if you have heard of these places. So I'm going to go ahead and mention them and let us know if these places are still open. Have you been there? Do you know anything about them? The first one that they mentioned is G Street Fabrics, which is supposed to be at Potomac Mills. So don't know if that's true. It has huge dedicated fabric shop in the Potomac Mills Mall with apparel, home decor, quilting, upholstery fabrics. The customer praises huge, well-organized selection and helpful staff. So those of you that are on there, and you know I know who you are, is that store in Potomac Mills still? Are you aware of it? Let me know. While you're answering that question, I'm going to look and see who has popped in. Leslie, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. Um, oh, Jenny says it's thundering in San Antonio. I hope everything stays good and you all don't get too much rain and you don't lose your connection. And Jenny, you said you have found another shop uh, here called Memories by the Yard, and they are open on Sundays, 12 to 4. Maybe you'll try to go there Sunday to check them out. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And Val, you say you've heard of D Street. They have an advertisement on YouTube. But I said G is in George. G is in George Street Fabrics at Potomac Mill. But if there's a D Street, then that's good. That's good. Check them out on YouTube. I've not heard of them. And Robin is asking, are they still open? You were there years ago. Now, I don't know if you're asking about D Street or you're asking about G Street Fabrics, but I don't know if they're still open or not because you know how these AIs are. They're supposed to be all smart and they're not always because they even mentioned Joanne on here when I asked about what was available, and we all know they're not available. The next one that they mentioned in the Woodbridge area, Woodbridge, Virginia, that is, Serendipity. Okay, so Robin, you're talking about G Street. I don't know. I'm trying to think back in my head when I was living in Woodbridge, even though I wasn't shopping for fabric during that time, I cannot recall seeing a fabric shop at the Potomac Mill. And I know I have walked that mall from one end to the other on multiple occasions. I don't remember seeing a G Street fabric store. So they may or may not be open. So that's something that maybe Deborah or Leslie can answer for us uh, if they've seen that. Um, Serendipity Quilting Studio Inc. is also supposed to be in Woodbridge. Specialty quilting store that stocks various quilting fabrics, patterns, and supplies. A great choice if you're into patchwork or quilting specific textile. Stitch and Print is at 3104 PS Business Center in Woodbridge. Not familiar with them. And So Social, SEW, Social in Manassas is supposed to be um, available. It's a sewing studio that carries designer fabrics and patterns and hosts classes and events. And we all know where Manassas is in reference to Woodbridge. If for those of us that either live there or have lived there as I have. So those are the ones that they mentioned. I told them to list out 5 places, and that's what they brought up. I also asked them to tell me about what was here in the Kansas City area, um, so I could check it out. So I have a list of things that I am going to be checking out just to see what's available. Not sure if these things are um, current because Val, you said it was G Street and Robin said G Street. So if and when they were open, they were pretty good. Whether or not they're still open at the Potomac Mills in Woodbridge is another question. I don't know because I don't see anything from Deborah or Leslie in regards to this. And they both live in that area and may or may not have even been aware of it, or maybe it's not open still. I don't know. But the best thing to do, of course, is to Google, see what's out there. Hey, Evelyn, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I'm always looking at your beautiful things on Facebook. So I love seeing your work. Evelyn, if you guys haven't seen Evelyn's work, Evmar Evelyn on Facebook, just check her out. She has absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous embroidered items that she puts out there. They're very, very good. Very good. Um, Now, they're telling you where to find fabric again, still. And one big suggestion is to use Facebook groups. Search local sewing, quilting, or embroidery groups. People love to share where they shop, which is an excellent idea. Check out Facebook. Join those various groups that pop up in your feed about things that are of interest to you. And if you see anything that mentions fabric or where to buy fabric, where to go get fabrics or whatever, join those groups and check them out and see if they can recommend something that is in your area that people actually have gone to where you may be able to go to. So Facebook group is an excellent place. Also map out, which I think is really, really something fun, especially if you live around several people with like minds that have the same interests, that they're embroiderers, crafters, sewers, what have you. Map out a fabric hunt day. Make it a field trip and support multiple small shops. Get a small group of friends, girls' day out, and go get on Google, go to the website, check out several stores that is in a close proximity where you don't have to drive 1,000 miles away, and just check these places out for yourself. Make it a fun day, and you'll be surprised. Make sure you got a little change because you're going to get in there and find something you want to buy. I'm sure, and do that. I think it's worthwhile. But they also caution that you need to call ahead. Even though you check it on the website, call ahead and ask what type of fabrics they stock before you drive there. So you're not going to be disappointed, and get their hours, and then check also for the directions to make sure you have accurate information. And then head out and have a ball. Also, um, don't forget to shop in your own stash at home. A lot of us, including myself, I realized when I packed to move, I had far more fabric than I thought I did. Far more fabric than I realized that I had. I have tons of remnants, fat quarters, pieces left over from projects. I don't have a whole lot of yardage. I do have a decent amount, but I don't have a lot of yardage. And the yardage that I have usually isn't greater than 2 yards. They're averaging 1 to 2 yards because that I know is what I would buy. But don't forget to shop in your own house because we might as well use what we have, especially since it's difficult to go out and find something. Go into your stash and check out what you already have and see if you can use it for whatever it is that you're trying to make or put together or what have you. Obviously, you like the fabric because you bought it, or someone gave it to you and you took it, or you went to an estate sale and you took it, whatever. So use it. That is the best way. And also another thing I thought about, have a get together to swap fabric. Get a group of your friends that sews, embroiders, crafts, what have you, that may have a stash, and bring some fabric that you know you're not gonna use. Don't bring the ugliest thing you got because nobody else is gonna want it either. But stuff that you've had that you know you haven't done anything with and probably won't, and see if you can exchange it with other people. And that's a good way of sharing what you have with other people. I mean, it would be a fun get together. I think you can do it over brunch on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. Meet at somebody's house, meet wherever you think is comfortable, and just don't bring your whole stash, but bring you 5 or 6 different nice size pieces of fabric or more, and make a fun day out of it, and see what you can do. You'd be surprised. And not only fabric, other things that you may have. Like if you have multiple pieces of stabilizer that you'll never use all of this up because you start using something else. Like I have cutaway stabilizer, but I use no show mesh more than I use my regular cutaway stabilizer. I probably could give some of it away because I'm always replenishing my no show mesh and rarely using the regular cutaway that I have. So that's a good way to help somebody else out. If you need it, who knows? Maybe you can use it. Um, so that's what I thought. Just have a swap meet get together with fabric, or have a girls' day out shopping and check out some of these places. So I think, you know, and if you guys decide to do that, let me know and tell me how it goes. And Jenny, you said fabric swap sounds like fun. And what you said, Leslie, a few friends a few years ago visited several shops together. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I think. And hey, Joyce, how you doing? And you said you came in late, but did I mention Fabric Mart in Sinking Springs, Pennsylvania? I did mention Fabric Mart, but I don't know if I said exactly where it was. But I did mention Fabric Mart. That was one of the places that I mentioned. And Val said that there were tons of fabric places, quilting shops, and what have you in the Philadelphia area. She didn't list out all of them, but she did mention the fact that there were quite a few places in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. But yeah, I will check back on my sheet, but I'm pretty positive I mentioned Fabric Mart, Mart, but I did not mention where exactly it is located because I don't think it was mentioned in my review here. I don't think it was mentioned. But yeah, it was something that I said. Okay. And don't forget, hey Arlene, how are you? Thank you for stopping. And Jenny, you mentioned Fabrictopia. Okay. Where is Fabrictopia, Jenny? Is it in Texas where you are? And Arlene, I know I'm late, but just wanted to say hello to everybody. Hello, Arlene. Thank you for stopping by. And you're never late. Never late. Let me see. I think I've acknowledged everybody that has stopped in here so far. I think so. So, are there other places that you guys have actually tried and said, I like this place and I think I'm going to shop there? And are places that you can recommend. Now, I think I have mentioned several different ideas, and like I said, the one, well, it's the three, the Facebook groups I think is an excellent idea because you can, like-minded people, and there's people from all over the United States and elsewhere, all walks of life and everything. So they have a lot of information to share. It's not just your local area. So you can find places, and if it's someplace you're interested in shopping at or want to, excuse me, check out, you can always ask them where it's located. And if it's not located in your area, find out if they have a website or something that you can look into. Also, I did mention about shopping on Amazon, and Fabric.com is now affiliated with Amazon, so you can go through Fabric.com and look for stuff. It isn't something that you can touch and feel, but you never know. They may have swatches or something like that, sample books or what have you that you can get and check them out to see. They should be reasonable if it's coming through Amazon. And Amazon links up, as you know, with tons and tons and tons of vendors everywhere. And the opportunity of finding what you're looking for is great. Don't forget Etsy either. Etsy is another place where they will have lots of people that sell fabric. I have bought fabric. Did I buy fabric off of Etsy? I know I bought it off of Amazon. I'm not sure if I bought it off of Etsy or not, but I'm not going to say I did, but I do know for certain I bought fabric off of Amazon several times. The more I think about it, because the one I thought I had gotten off of Etsy, the more I think about it, I think I actually got it off of Amazon. But the opportunity is there to get stuff. Leslie, you're headed to your convention in Phoenix, and Leslie goes to this convention with her usher group at her church, and she said she used most of the fabric she had. I still had from making items for my grandson 7 years ago. And yeah, I know Leslie has a huge stash because she told us. She's told us that she has a lot of fabric that she has accumulated. And I think a lot of us do. We may not even be aware of that. Because, like I said, I didn't know I had as much fabric as I actually have until I started packing, and it looked like the fabric just kept coming and coming and coming. It's like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I had all of it. So I'm trying to you know, dig down in there and pull stuff out and say, okay, I can use this, I can use that, and not necessarily have to go um, to a fabric shop. So that's also an alternative. And that's what made me think about the fabric swap, where you just get with your friends, bring a bunch of stuff, and see if you can do some type of exchange. Somebody might have the color you've been looking for, and you might have the color they've been looking for, and so forth and so on. And it just makes it a fun day, even if you don't get a chance to swap anything. It's just a fun day to get with people with like mind that think and do the same thing you do. That's what makes it fun. So I think that's a good idea. And again, like I said, getting together with a group of people and going out shopping. Who doesn't like doing that? We're women. We love to go out shopping. If it's nothing but window shopping. When I was much younger, that was a Saturday afternoon must do. Uh, wasn't gonna spend a dime. I remember one time I went out with a girlfriend and we deliberately, on purpose, left our check back in the day, our checkbooks and cash. We only took enough money to eat off of, and we went window shopping with the whole purpose of we ain't spending a dime. We were in nursing school at the time, so we didn't have money to waste anyway. But it was just something to do, to have fun, to get out and see stuff. And we went out, we looked at everything, we tried on everything, we did all kinds of craziness and had a good time. Went up in jewelry store, tried on expensive jewelry we knew good and doggone well we weren't gonna buy. It probably wasn't fun for the salesperson, but it was fun for us. But it was a fun day. It was a fun day, and that was entertainment back in the day, back when the malls and things were fun, and life was a little bit different than it is now. I don't think you get away with that kind of mess now, and I wouldn't want to do it anyway. But it's still fun to get out with your girlfriends and just go look at stuff and you know. Ooh, girl, do you like this? Look at this. What do you think? I don't like that. Yeah, I like that. That'll work. Whatever. Give people ideas and stuff like that. Um, Jenny, you say you have purchased fabric off of Etsy. Okay. And Deborah, you say you have bought fabric off of Etsy as well. And hi Danielle, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in. And she said, I hear y'all talking about the fabric. Love this topic. I'm late to the party. Hey y'all, I would catch the replay. Prime days have beat me down. I'm tired and sleepy. This poor baby works a lot. Yes, she works a lot. I hope I see you tomorrow night, but if not, I understand. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, we're talking about fabric. Um, and George, you said you purchase religious fabric from Etsy. That's the good thing about Amazon, and well, I would assume any place online. But you can be specific in what you're looking for and narrow it down if you're looking for something specific that you want. So, these are just options. Um, because again, we're limited. We are very limited where we can purchase stuff and put our hands on it. So we have to be very creative with that. And Pearl, you say you've purchased very nice fabric from Etsy. Yes, I'm most of the people I would venture to say have pretty nice things on Etsy. Um, and with Amazon, since they have such a huge variety, the thing that I like the most about Amazon, of course, being a Prime member, is if you buy a Prime item, it can be returned if you don't like it. So if you do purchase fabric off of Amazon and it doesn't work out for you, it's the wrong color, the wrong texture. Excuse me, I'm not sleepy, but I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, you can return it. So it's not like you're stuck with it, and it's not a difficult return, and it's not a difficult refund. So that's what I like about that. Uh, I never bought anything off of Etsy that I had to return, although they have very strict return policies and stuff as well. So if you set your shop up where you accept returns and offer refunds, then they make sure that you hold up to that um, agreement. Now, keep in mind the seller, since I am one, has the opportunity to decide whether or not they will take returns or whether or not they will refund items and what their policy would be as far as the time limit and what have you. So be sure you read all of the fine prints to make sure that if you're buying anything from anybody, whether it's Etsy, Amazon, or any of the other fabric shops or whatever places you may shop from, check out the return and refund policy before you put your money down, just in case, because I know when you're shopping online, you don't always get what you think you're getting. It does not always work out. It may not fit, it may not work, it may not be the color, it may not be what you thought it was going to be, all of those kinds of things. And you don't want to get stuck with something that you know, if it's me, if I can't use it, I want my money back. Plain and simple. If I can't use it, I want my money back, or I want to exchange it, or whatever, because I don't have money to give away. So I'm going to definitely be returning it if it's something that does not work out for me. Becky says she's purchased, which I hadn't thought about, hadn't brought it up, purchased a panel off of eBay that she needed. So don't forget about eBay. eBay has a whole lot of stuff. And with that in mind, it made me think about Facebook Marketplace. Now, I've not bought anything actually off of Facebook Marketplace. I've sold on Facebook Marketplace, and I have looked on Facebook Marketplace as well as eBay for various things. So I do know that they both of those places offer a whole array of items. And I am pretty sure that they probably have fabric as well. So don't forget to check them out. Um, yeah, don't forget to check them out. And I want to reiterate again, because Becky reminded us, estate sales. You can look online, Google estate sales near me, and check out who's having them, when they are, where they are, and may even be able to find out what it is that they are pretty much selling, because they oftentimes put a list of things that you can find. Also, thrift stores. Don't forget about thrift stores, because a lot of people donate their unwanted items, such as thread, machines, fabric, what have you, to thrift stores and consignment shops. Those are places that you can also go to and may be lucky enough to get a huge bargain, because oftentimes they will do those things in bundles. Like, you buy this big basket full of whatever is in there is yours for 20 bucks or whatever. And you'll be surprised at the treasure that you will find. I had a girlfriend sent me a whole boatload of sewing thread, not embroidery thread. I don't sew, but that was okay. I still have it, and I have a whole lot of colors of thread that she got from a garage sale, and she didn't need them, so she sent them to me. Um, so you'd be surprised what you can find at garage sales. And this is the time of the year that people are having garage sales. So check those out too. And you can, if they put their numbers in there, you can probably call them and ask them before you even go. You got any threads? You got any fabric? You got any kind of sewing notion? Any kind of stuff like that? And that's a good way of getting bargains and finding treasures. Um, Leslie said she needed Mattel Hot Wheel fabric for a shirt, and she found it on Etsy. Yes. Um, and Pearl, you bought a whole boat of fabric off of eBay that the designer had discontinued in the fabric store that you were looking for. Good. And I'm sure you got a good deal on that. So don't sleep on eBay. Don't sleep on eBay, because eBay will definitely um be able to answer some of your needs, just like Etsy will be able to answer some of your needs. Because I know on Etsy, I still do, not as much as I did in the beginning of my embroidery experience, but especially when I was doing masks, because I was customizing the mask and people would ask for certain designs and what have you. And I would simply go to Etsy and type that specific design in the search uh, line, and I would find all kinds of designs that I'm looking for with what it was I was looking for. So I was very lucky and very happy that I could do that. I wasn't always lucky enough to get the best digitized design, but most of them were always good. I only had times that I got burned, but I would venture to say 98% of the time, the stuff that I got was good and digitized well. But the thing that I was most impressed, if I put in there, I wanted a lion that was roaring, a roaring lion. Don't think I didn't get tons of designs of roaring lions, and I had my choice. If whatever it is that I said I was looking for, I would just type that in there, and I would always make sure I put machine embroidery design of blah blah blah, and I would get tons of whatever I was looking for. So you can do that exact same thing when you're looking for fabric. Be specific, because I found fabric on. For some reason, I keep thinking I got it off of Etsy. I did. Now that I did. I was looking for uh, fabric for a mask that one of my customers wanted. They wanted it pink with black polka dots. Usually you can find pink with white polka dots, but she wanted black. She wanted pink with black polka dots, and I could not find it in Joann. I couldn't find it in Hobby Lobby. I couldn't find it in Walmart. And I didn't go to any quilt shops or anything, but I went online and I went to Etsy. I typed it in there, and sure enough, I found it, ordered it, and it was perfect. So, yeah, I like that. And Evelyn, you said you moved to Monroe, North Carolina, and no fabric stores are here. Oh wow. Yes, that's kind of the. Do you not have a Walmart or even a Hobby Lobby or a Micro or anything? So, um, yeah, that's kind of sad. But we're talking about places that you can shop online. Um, that's not going to go away. It's probably going to even get greater because of Joanne closing. And so more and more people are going to pop up. I'm pretty sure of that until somebody decides to open up a store, a chain store or something, which I'm thinking will happen eventually. I really do think it's going to happen. Don't know who or when, but I think it's going to happen because the demand is too great. There's too much money to be made. And I think people are realizing that. And Evelyn, you say, yes, you have a Walmart. Hopefully, your Walmart has some fabric. They may not have a cutting table like mine doesn't, but they do sell fat quarters. They do sell pre cut fabric in 1, 2, and 4 yards that may be usable for certain things. Because I know you have beautiful fabric that you make your things out of, your children items out of, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. So I am so hoping that you're going to be able to keep finding the fabrics that you're looking for. So you can keep making a beautiful thing. Hi, Jackie Hallman. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. And don't worry about being late. It's always the replay where you can catch up on the things that we're talking about. But the subject is where you can buy fabric and go in person and look at it and touch it and feel, and brought all the different places that I'm aware of, and exclusive of Michael, Walmart, and Hobby Lobby. There are a few other places that you could go to, quilting shops, uh, embroidery sewing machine dealerships, local independent shops. And then we started talking about some of the more unusual places like vendor fairs and estate sales and thrift stores and places like that that are definitely something where you might be able to get lucky and find something. And Evelyn, you say yes, cut fabric, Walmart, and some online for most fabric. Well, that's good. And especially, well, if they have a cutting table, because I have to be honest about it, Walmart did have a pretty decent a selection of bolts of fabric. I didn't buy a lot of fabric out of Walmart uh, off the bolts, mainly because Joann was still open and my preference was Joann. So I didn't have to. I bought lots of bag quarters out of Walmart because it was cheaper than Joann's until I got practically everything they had. Then I had to go back to Joann because they had more selections. But they did when I did want something that I saw there that was on the boat, I was able to get it, and that made me happy because I could get the amount of yardage that I needed for whatever. And now that I'm kind of getting into the quilting mode, I need fleece for my rag quilt that I want to make. That's the next quilt I want to make, and I think it's fleece or flannel. I always get confused. I think it's fleece that works best, but I don't want it juvenile. I have quite a bit of juvenile fleece that I bought years ago. I have quite a few of it. I could definitely make a quilt out of it, but I don't want to because I want the quilt for myself. I don't want to give it to a child. I don't want to sell it to a child. I don't want to do anything. I want it for myself. Because the only child that I have in my life right now is my great granddaughter, and I have made her so many things to go on her bed. I don't want to make her not one more quilt blanket, heirloom quilt, none of that stuff. I gave her two quilts last year for Christmas. When she was born, I think I probably gave her 10 heirloom quilts that I embroidered on. And I mean, she don't need anything else for the bed. She really doesn't. She really doesn't need that. So I don't want to make it for her. I want to make it for myself. So I want something a little bit more adult, if that's even possible. And I know Joann had tons of it when it was open, and I would always ignore it. Just walk past because I always thought they had way too much. And now that they're closed, I regret it because I would love to go in there now and use the and buy some. And so, Jackie, you said it's flannel. You think you want flannel? Okay. I always get confused whether it's flannel or fleece. I have to look it up. I know it's one of the two, and the fleece is the more fluffy, if I'm not mistaken. So it probably is the flannel, and that's what I have. But like I said, it's juvenile. I don't want the baby stuff, the kitty stuff, design wise. I want something that could be something that I would be okay with to put on my bed or across my couch or whatever. And Pearl, you said that you're like, oh my goodness, you're like 2 hours away. Oh my goodness. Mm, ain't that bad. Um, Jackie, flannel will fray for you to, okay, perfect. So it's flannel. Yeah, I definitely want what's gonna fray, so it's flannel. Thanks for correcting me because I always get confused if it's fleece or flannel. So now hopefully I will remember that it is flannel, and because I'm seriously thinking about ordering some. I saw a pattern on Shabby Fabric, I believe it was. I believe it was Shabby Fabric that I just fell in love with. I didn't buy it yet, but I fell in love with that it's a rag quilt pattern, and I thought it was so pretty, but I was scared to buy it because I don't know what I'm doing. But I think I'm going to go ahead and buy it. And the fabric was so pretty. I even considered buying the bundle of fabric from them, but when I looked into it, they were they were out of it. So they still had the pattern available, but they didn't have the fabric of that particular quilt that they had made. So I said that means I got to buy my own fabric because it's a beautiful quilt. Um, I'm being very ambitious, but I'm thinking it's something that I can do because I do have the AccuQuilt dye for the rag quilt, so I can use that to cut it out. So I'm not worried about it getting all messed up as far as cutting and care everything. And the rag quilt dye puts the fringes on it. So that part is great. And I basically have to follow the pattern and put it together, and it should work out just fine. So I think I can do it. But I haven't checked them lately. They may have gotten the kit back in again. I don't know. I have to check them out and see because ever since I saw it, I said that's the one I want. I knew I wanted to make a rag quilt, and I was thinking about just a plain block all the way down until I saw that pattern, and I said, "Oh my, this would be absolutely gorgeous if I could pull this off. If I could pull this off, this would be absolutely gorgeous." So I will keep you guys posted and let you know if and when I decide to do that quilt. I am going to do it, but when I do it, I don't know. But I will definitely keep everybody posted. It was something else I wanted to tell you. What is it that I want to tell you? Just a little bit. Not going to go too much into it because I plan to do this on another matter of fact next week. So you guys come back, tune in next week. Last Friday or this past Friday, Jeanette on Baroka Sewing and Craft, her channel, talked about using AI in your crafting business. And she specifically emphasized working with Etsy. And I have been using AI for a while, coming up with information for my live presentation because I would always say, well, I checked with the AI and this is what they came up with. But I was using Microsoft Copilot, which comes with your Microsoft. I had not used Chat GPT. So I checked it out and they have the free version and then they have two other subscriptions. One is $20 and one is $20 a month and one is $200 a month. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of it because, like I said, I'm going to talk to you guys next week. But what I'm going to talk to you next week will be my experience with it because I decided to start using it. And I want to tell you how it went, how whether I like it or don't like it, whether I think it's beneficial or not, whether or not it was something that I would recommend for other people to do, especially if they're doing Etsy, because I want to get my hands wet and see how that works for me. What I will tell you tonight is that I'm extremely encouraged because I know those of you that have an Etsy shop or plan on having an Etsy shop, setting it up is not the easiest thing. It is extremely time consuming and nerve wracking. I'm just going to put that out there. It's not difficult, but they ask you for a lot of information about your product. And I have to tell you, any tool that's out there available to make that a little bit easy would be something that I would be willing to look into. So that when I heard her talk, I even put a statement in there that I was going to definitely check it out for myself. So I will be working on that this week. And next week, we'll be talking about Chat GPT and how it has worked for me. So that will be pretty much the topic. So this is a topic I have for next week, you guys. Hey, I don't have to ask you guys for a topic for next week. But going forward, I still need you all to help me. I still need ideas, please. But next week we will be talking about my experience with AI and Etsy. The following, and that's on the 22nd. So that's next Tuesday. The following week, which is the 29th, will be the Sew Along group, our Wednesday night Zoom, the Soul Social Crew. It will be On the 29th, we will be doing our project reveal. We've held it up for quite a while, but it will be our project reveal because we need to get this done and out of the way so we can move forward with our next project. We've already come up with what the next project is going to be, and we have yet to do the reveal of the one that we just got done work or we've been working on. So that will be on the 29th. So I just want to let you guys know I got 2 weeks of stuff already planned, and that's AI for next week on the 22nd and the project review on the 29th. So you guys mark your calendar and please plan to watch and participate. Also, as a reminder, for those of you that participated in Jeanette Baroka Sewing and Craft Christmas in July Elster, her show and tell will be this coming Friday. Her show and tell will be this coming Friday on her Friday night chat, her Friday night live stream. So if you haven't gotten your gift yet, she wants you to please let her know ASAP. And she also wants you to let her know if you've already sent your gift because the deadline has already passed. The deadline was like the 27th of June, so it's been over with. But there was obviously still some people that hadn't got it, and I found out that the mail is horrific because I mailed something a week ago and my person just got it. So I was not happy. Trust and believe me, I was not happy. So, the mail may be holding things up, but if you sent something, just let Jeanette know so she can tell the person that you sent it to that if they haven't gotten it already, it is definitely on the way because she wants to make sure that everybody that participates. If you put your name on there and saying you're gonna do it, then do it. If you don't know for sure you're gonna do it, don't put your name on there saying you're going to. That's just the way it goes. So just wanted to put that out there and remind you guys that the show and tell will be next week. And I know last time I did not participate as far as the show and tell was concerned. Something came up. Don't know what it was, but I do plan to participate. And when I say participate, I plan to show what I got. And everybody else, if you got something, it makes it fun if you show it. And I know some people are shy, don't want to get on, public TV or, the internet and all that kind of stuff like that. I get it. I get it. But if that's not the case, that's what makes it fun when you get a chance to see what other people have gotten you, what other people have made, because it is some talented people out here that make some absolutely gorgeous, wonderful, and beautiful things. And I enjoy seeing what other people have made. It's not so much of what I got or what I gave. And so I just like seeing the craft because we're all crafters. We all embroider, sew, quilt, crochet, knit, sublimate, all of that stuff. And when you make something and give it to somebody and they share it and show it and say, so and so made this, and we get a chance to ooh and ah over it, it is so, I mean, it's gratifying to the person that made it. And it's gratifying to us, the viewers, to get a chance to admire it. Just like when we do our reveal and we get compliments, and when, you know, Jeanette does the show and tell. So, I'm speaking for her, not for me, because this is her show, not mine. But I'm just speaking for her as a friend and a participant in her channel to please plan to participate if at all possible, because it makes it fun for all of us. And I do remember that the last time it wasn't a lot of participation, and that's the only reason I brought it up because I know I don't know what happened or why, but it didn't seem like it was a lot of participation, even though people did get them and all of that. And so I was just, she didn't ask me to do that. I did this on my own. So don't even. This is just me talking. I just thought about it, and I figured that I would bring it up because I wanted to remind you about the show and tell for her on Friday, and then tell you about the um, two Tuesday of the things that I'm planning on doing for this this show. So hopefully you guys will be here and join me. I do appreciate, and also want to thank you guys. I always ask you for a thumbs up or like. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed. I have some names on here that I don't recognize, but I'm hoping that you are a subscriber. If you're not, please plan to subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime to hit the button, to hit the button for the subscribing or the like button, the thumb, all of that stuff is free and it doesn't hurt. It helps. It always helps the channel, my channel, and anybody else's channel that you watch. If you subscribe to them, if you like them, if you comment on it, it helps us as content creators. Whenever I watch somebody else's uh, content, video, what have you, I always hit the like button. I may or may not subscribe. It just depends upon if it is the type of channel that I know I support, whether I watch it all the time or not. It doesn't matter. But if it's a content that I support, like if it's embroidery or quilting or rhinestone, anything that I support, I mean, I'm not going to hit the button on a gamer or something because I don't watch that stuff. But if it's something that I support, I hit the subscribe and I hit the like button. I hit the notification bell if I want to be notified. You don't have to hit the notification bell if you don't want to get notification on certain people's site, but definitely it's not going to hurt you to subscribe and it's not going to hurt you to hit the like button. So I'm asking that for me and all the other content creators out here. Just support us because it's not easy getting up here in front of people and trying to come up with interesting information and providing it and spending the time that we do spend. I enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it. That's why I do it. I don't do it you know, just to hear myself talk. I do it because I like to provide information that people can use. That's why I'm always asking you, what is it that you want me to talk about? Because I want to be able to provide something that is going to be of interest to you, something that you maybe mentioned missing from other channels. And that's why you found me. So, let me know. So let's see what people are talking about. Uh, Jenny said that would be very interesting. I think she was referring to the AI. And Becky says, I got a lovely Christmas wall hanging from Jenny, my Texas friend. Yay. And Robin said, hi, sweet. How sweet. And yeah, that's nice. Jenny, you always make beautiful things. Always make beautiful things. I love the stuff that you make. I saw something that you put up on Facebook. I can't remember what it was now, but I remember liking something that you put up. Yeah. So that's the other thing. When we find designs, hey Margot, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. When we find designs that we think other people would be interested in, and when we're here on this platform and stuff, we can share that stuff as well. Because I know we all kind of look at the same website designer sites and stuff like that, uh, like Designed by Juju, Embroidery Library, Urban Thread, Stitchtopia, uh, Sweet Pea, Smart Needles, several places that I go to that you guys probably don't. But if you see some Enchanted, it's different places that have absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous designs and stuff like that. And I love finding new places and doing stuff like that for the different projects and stuff that I make. And if you find a place that you don't like, that you don't think that they're, worth visiting, we don't want to bash anybody, but If it's something that you feel compelled to talk about, then you can definitely do that as well. We don't want to bash anybody or anything like that, but there are times when you find places that may need you may just say get away from. So Margot, you say you just getting in from work, and Jenny, you say you embroidered a towel for your niece. Tu- 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 tu. Okay, I think I've seen everybody in here. Yep, yep. I was looking at something. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. Mm, 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 mm. I was looking at All Things Sean the other day, and I noticed that she got a a um a new bay embroidery machine. I was kind of surprised because she has a Racoma. Anybody saw that? I'm wondering how that is. I'm wondering what made her decide to switch from Racoma to a bay. That's interesting to see that because I understand that the Bay BAI um, embroidery machine is quite a bit less expensive. I guess that's the best way of putting it. And this is weird. I'm sorry, Marissa. I was trying. I saw your. You text me. I text you back. It didn't go through again. I don't know what it is. Delivery status notification address not found. I'm not understanding why we can't connect. That's interesting. Hmm. I'm not understanding why it won't go through. I can get it, but I can't reply. That doesn't make sense to me. Cause that I'm sorry, you guys. This it's not personal. It's Marissa wants to be part of the Zoom, and we're trying to get her the ID and passcode, but I can't. Uh, Her email is not not letting me do it. I don't know why. I can't figure this out because that's what happened last week, and I could not figure out for the life of me why I can get it, but when I try to email you back, it does not go through. That is crazy. Hmm. Email me if you don't mind your phone number, and I will call you when I get off. How's that? It still be private because it's gonna come straight to me. You're not putting it out there for everybody to see. I don't know why, because I can get it from you, but it won't go back to you, Marissa, if you're still on here, because I cannot figure that out why this is happening. Because like I said, it happened last week, and I was waiting for you to come on today so we could get this taken care of, and it ain't working. That just don't make no sense. it doesn't make sense to me. That's the strangest thing, you know. Craziness happens, and it tends to happen to me, but that does not. I can't figure that one out yet. What the issue is, Marissa? If you're still on here and everything, just send me your phone number if you don't mind, and then I will call you back as soon as I get off of the live, and then I know we'll be able to connect, and maybe we can figure out why the email is or the text is not going through. Because I get your stuff, but my stuff keeps coming back as not being delivered, and I don't know why. And if you got it, let me know, because it's coming back telling me that it isn't being delivered. So just let me know one way or the other. If you don't mind, if you're still on here, I hope you are, so we can get this straightened out before tomorrow night so you can join us. But I really don't know what is going on, you guys. Um, so that detoured me when I was looking for what I was looking for. Sorry about that. I just saw that and I wanted to catch it before she gets off of here, if she is not off already, because I was trying to do that yet last week and I had no way of reaching her, so I didn't know. Mm, 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 mm. I saw where Dime has a snap magnetic hoop that's a 4x4 for a flatbed. That's interesting. I just saw that today for anybody that wants. I thought about that and I said, oh, I might be interested in doing that. I might be interested in doing that. I don't know. But I just saw that today. And I'm not finding what I was looking for. I am so sorry. I am not finding it. I thought I had saved it, but I don't see it. It is taking me too long to pull it up. Sorry about that, you guys. So, Marissa, I don't see you on here. I don't see you responding or anything, so I'm not sure you're still on here. I hope so, because I really wanted to get this taken care of, and I just happened to look at my phone and see that you had responded to me earlier, and so that's why I was trying to reach you again before I close out, and it looks like you may not be on here anymore. So if anybody knows how to reach Marissa Dandris, if you let her know, um, I'm trying to reach her, and her email is not working for some reason. I'm not getting the information, and I don't know why. But anyway, it's not working. So, with that being said, you guys, I don't have anything else. I couldn't find what I was looking for. Sorry about that. And I got distracted. I don't like doing that. It is 10 minutes early, but that's okay. Anybody else got anything else that they want to add that we didn't talk about? Especially places that you can actually physically go in and walk in and touch fabric or anything like that. Did we talk about everything that you possibly could do? Because I'm trying to puzzle my brain and see if there's anything that I thought about and didn't mention. I don't think so, because we covered a pretty good basis of places, so we should be doing pretty good with that as far as getting fabric and where to look and stuff like that. And don't forget the notions either, because that's another issue that I have found. Um, I don't think Hobby Lobby or definitely not Michael, because Michael never did have a whole lot of notions. But Walmart has a fair amount. Hobby Lobby has a fair amount, but they don't have, of course, nearly as much as Joanne did as far as notions are concerned. So that's a place that that's a item or something that you might be interested in seeing where can you get notions. And it was one place for sewing, Wawak, I believe is how you spell it, that sells a lot of sewing notions and things that are pretty discounted. You can get zippers and buttons and rulers and rotary cutters and scissors and all kinds of stuff like that from them, and they're pretty the price is not so bad. So that's a place where you can check out and see where you can find notions and everything like that. And of course, you can always get notions off of Amazon, because I have to be honest about it. The majority of my stabilizers I get off of Amazon. I don't think I've bought stabilizer anywhere other than Amazon, or maybe one other place. Practically everything comes from Amazon or either All Brand or All Stitch. That's where I buy my thread. That's where I buy my needles. Um, Amazon, All Stitch, or All Brand. Those are the places that I normally will get my stabilizer, my needles, my scissors, rotary cutters, things like that. All of my notions and stuff that I use come from those places, but the majority of them, be all honestly, comes from Amazon, because I just put in there what I'm looking for, and you have a whole variety of things that pop up that you can choose from. So I haven't had a big issue or anything keeping up with my notions, especially my stabilizers and stuff. Um, and I just want to caution, don't go spending a lot of money on brand name stabilizer, because it's not something that you have to do. You do not have to have a brand name stabilizer. A stabilizer is a stabilizer. John Deere said that all stabilizers are made at one or two factories, no place else, and every other brand comes from those factories. They just brand them for different companies and send them out. So one brand is not better than the other one. That's what he said. And I've taken him on his word. And so far, I have not noticed a difference. The difference in your stitching and everything, when it comes down to whether or not it's going to come out good, would be how you hoop it, what kind of stabilizer you're using, what needle you're using, and compare that to the fabric and the design that you have. That will dictate how well your stitching is going to come out. And of course, the maintenance of your machine, not necessarily the brand of a stabilizer. So don't let that confuse you and make you spend extra money because you want to get a particular brand stabilizer, because the branded ones, and I'm not calling any names, can be much more expensive than the stuff that you can get online out of Amazon. And Leslie, you said you monogrammed two beach towels for two graduates from your church. That's cool. I just did two beach towels. My son and his and his wife, my daughter-in-law, live in Florida, and they came up for the holiday, and I surprised them both with a beach towel each, and I personalized it for them. So I've already done beach towel, but it was fun to do the beach towel um, for them. So new comment. Okay, yeah, you use the knockdown stitches, which is good. Knockdown stitches are either water soluble when you're doing towels, especially if they have a pile of nap. These beach towels that I did, but interesting enough, did not have either. So I didn't have to use that technique. But anytime you're doing towels, TOWEL, you should do either the knockdown stitch or you definitely need to use a water soluble topper on them to make them come out the way you want. Just like I just mentioned, it's not the stabilizer. It's the design, the fabric, and how you hoop it and, you know, how you stabilize it. Sometimes you have to put a topper and a stabilizer on the bottom. You may even need to have uh, two kinds. Some people do that. Some people have done a cutaway and a tearaway. I've seen that uh, more than once. I've seen it done. And you may start stitching and get a little pucker, and you may have to stop and add some stabilizer underneath, or you may have to add some to the top. It just depends. Those are the things, those are the tricks and tips that you need to be aware of when you're stitching things. You know, it's not always going to be straightforward. Stitch, stitch, stitch. There's certain techniques that you have to be aware of when you're doing different things. So, anyway, but that's cool, Leslie. I am going to say goodnight to everybody, and I will be seeing those of you that come to the Wednesday night Zoom um, tomorrow. Leslie, you say you use water soluble on the bottom and the top. Okay. I don't know about, well, anyway, the top definitely, definitely water soluble on the top. Um, well, I guess Marissa is not here. I have not seen her respond or anything. So I guess we'll go another week waiting to see if we can get this mystery cleared up. I don't know. Anyway, let me say goodnight to everybody and thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to give me thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe if you have not already and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I'm coming back on. And don't forget, next week we're talking about my experience with AI and my Etsy shop. And the following week we will be doing our review from the Social Society Cruise project that we did. So, with that being said, I'm going to go say goodnight. You guys have a wonderfully blessed rest of your week and take care. Bye bye.